The digital landscape of how we work is changing so fast that things aren't going to be the same in a few months' time, let alone a few years' time. So I think it's really important now to reflect on that as business owners.
Hi everyone, and welcome to speaker sessions for the Thriving Entrepreneur Conference that's taking place on the 1st of February 2019. We are here today with the lovely Tania from Karma.
Hello.
So this is Coffee with Karma. Okay, let's get started. Tania, tell us a little bit about yourself and what it is that you do.
So I run a platform called Karma that supports entrepreneurs and purposeful organisations with managing their mental health and well-being while growing a business. So the side of business development that can often be overlooked. So we look at mindset, managing your own well-being and your mental health as well as your physical health, and just looking at the whole self as you're growing your business so that that doesn't get neglected.
And how did you get into something like that? Is it something you've always wanted to do?
No, it very much came about naturally from personal experience. So I've run a company since 2010. So it started off as a local dance school because I'm a dance practitioner, and then I launched an international festival company 3 years after that. So quite a big leap. So during that time, I really struggled with looking after my well-being, and that was really when it hit me just how important it is to invest time in yourself as well as the business, because you often hear a lot about the business development needs, the business plan, the financial projections, what is it going to be like in a year, 5 years, etc. So what about you as the visionary of the driving force of the business? And that's the area that we're really interested in. So it came about very naturally because of personal experience, like I said. So from going through that transitional period, it was more than I'd really mentally prepared for at the time. I was working way too many hours. I wasn't looking after my well-being. I ended up burning out and then going through a spout of depression and anxiety attacks on and off for about a year. And that was really when I did take time to take stock of my well-being and learn what it really was about, to have that work-life alignment. I got coaching in NLP, neuro-linguistic programming, and I also had a really amazing support network at home. So for me, maintaining that meant that after a year or so, I went from having regular anxiety attacks to having no anxiety attacks at all. For 3 years now. Just like with strengthening your physical health, it's the same thing with your mental health and strengthening your mental muscle. So from that experience, I realized that there were a lot of entrepreneurs who I was mentoring that were talking about feeling depressed, feeling anxious, having PTSD, but that they weren't talking about it with anyone. And I feel that there are too many entrepreneurs out there that are silent about how they're really doing in business, and therefore that can affect the quality of their business, the longevity of their business, and actually how many ideas really get created and to full fruition as well. And it's a shame when things don't actually work out because of burnout and because of stress.
And obviously you're a speaker at the Thriving Entrepreneur Conference. So why are you excited to speak at that event? Why did you get on board with it?
I think the Thriving Entrepreneur Conference is a fantastic idea by Elliot. I think that it's really needed. The landscape of work and working culture and the digital landscape of how we work is changing so fast that things aren't going to be the same in a few months' time, let alone a few years' time. So I think it's really important now to reflect on that as business owners, as change makers, as people who are making a difference in our own way in the world and making our mark, to really understand from all the different perspectives of running a business what it means and how you can really utilize all those areas to the optimal potential, so that you can thrive, not just in your business, but I believe just in life in general as well.
And what is your session about? What are you talking to us about at the event?
So in my talk, I'm going to be exploring the landscape of what health and well-being will look like for entrepreneurs within the next 5 to 10 years. So I'll be looking at the intersection between emotional intelligence, mental health and physical health, and how paying attention to the whole can really ensure that you can thrive as an entrepreneur, both in business and in life. But I'll also be looking at different areas like how the landscape of work is changing so much, and actually how we manage ourselves in business and with others, because we need people, we need teams to grow businesses. And nowadays, people are living longer, working longer, and younger people are running businesses from their teens onwards. So now we've got a really wide mix of generations all working together, and all with different mindsets and approaches to work. But I think that there's always going to be ways that we can blend and work together efficiently using our expertise and our experience. So whether it's your knowledge or experience that's so important to know how they can blend together, and therefore how that can impact on your health and how you're looking after yourself and your business.
And what piece of advice, as our last question, would you give to somebody that was struggling with that concept of 5 to 10 years? Obviously, you said it's about taking small steps, but for you as well, like you said, it was very overwhelming for you once your business started to grow. And I think for a lot of people that are at that 3 to 5 mark year, they can start to think, okay, this is getting too big too soon. So what advice would you give to people that think, hang on, this is going too fast for me right now?
Sure, and that's a really good question. For me, that boils down to your support network. Who do you have around you supporting you and helping you? Where I went wrong when I was feeling too overwhelmed was that I wasn't utilising enough of my support network. Like, I had a team around me who were helping, but I was still consciously taking on way more than was reasonable to ask of myself. And sometimes we can set our expectations so high that we're not even aware of it. So deepening our self-awareness is really important, and cultivating that on a daily basis and nurturing good mental well-being. But also really being aware of your support network, who they are, who do you trust, who can you continue to reach out to, and who can you delegate to, because the entrepreneur journey isn't supposed to be lonely, but it's also not supposed to be just all done by one person. So sometimes it could just be about taking a step back and reflecting and really having an honest conversation with yourself about how much are you really expecting of yourself here, and what would it look like to reach out and get the support that you need.